You are watching this next week. That's right, the PSA counted as an episode. Okay, hope you all enjoyed that. Anyway, back to some fun stuff. I went outside, finished 2 books. Well, I've been working on this one for quite a while. Mom just powered through the Swamp Thing, though. She's a real trooper. Anyway, in the Flash, I liked that. My favorite was the Blue Beetle story. I'm not even gonna lie. My favorite was the Blue Beetle story. Same as always. The reason we picked this up, Blue Beetle. I really want to see them end the story of who the Black Beetle is. Yeah. I want that to be resolved. And if it has to be resolved in an 80-page giant, well, then so be it. The Flash stories weren't all that memorable, but Blue Beetle had Peacemaker in it. Another Charlton character. He barely showed up in it, but you could tell it was him. They're just getting to the part about Ladama, which is Brenda's aunt. I want to say grandmother, but she's not. She's her aunt, and I know what happens to her aunt because Mom doesn't know, but I know what happens to her aunt because of Linkara's review. I'm not gonna say, but I know what happens. The new ones are online. They didn't have any in the store. And I have a pile of last books I got from the comic book store before they shut down, yet to be read. But the new ones of these are online. You can get them online. Bandman has a link. I will be checking out, seeing if that link works. The guy known as Fanman here on YouTube. And if it does, I shall report back, and you can all say Bob sent you. Then you might have to explain who I am. I doubt he knows I exist. But, yeah. As you know, I really believe in that crossover, and I'm kind of about Ditko being gone. So that's how I got to watching him. He has very strong opinions on Ditko. Ditto. Didio! There you go! Third try. Got it. Third try. See that, Mom? Uh-huh. Yeah. So, Swamp Thing, this book, was a better story than Flash. Yeah. That book was better. I liked how they brought in the Atom, but because it's the television universe, he kind of knows who Ryan Choi is. But what I don't like is they don't explain why he doesn't know who Ryan Choi is. Um, they don't say that. Hey, didn't Ray save the universe? No. Um, I like I said, I like that story, but again, wasn't better than Blue Beetle. I totally forgot it existed till just now. Yeah. Um, and you all know on the show, I feel that they should explain who Wave Rider was. Bring in Booster Gold. Yeah. I don't know. And my feelings on Green Arrow have yet to change. Okay, now on to Swamp Thing, Mom. Okay. I like the story with the little girl. Um, they could easily say that the next story with the little, if they ever bring in that little girl again, had something to do with the doll tree, the magic doll tree that Brother Power's from. They could easily do that. That would be cool. I'd enjoy that very much. But yeah, I like that. I like that story. I like the one that was supposed to be a big shock, that we have plans on everybody, but really it wasn't a big shock. Because come on, they're the government. They totally would. Um, Mom liked that it was like a simulation. I think she liked that. Um, Zantana, I like they didn't just stop the story. They did what I wanted them to do with Blue Beetle, where they continued the story, and you got to see his crazy cousin, or was it cousin or nephew, Mother? I think she said cousin. Anyway, cousin. Let's go with that. I was vaguely familiar with him because I like the Red Devil era of the Teen Titans. No, but he was on the same team as the Red Devil. For all of you who don't know what we're talking about, because, we're nerds here, Red Devil was a character that used to be in the DC universe. He used to be a Teen Titan. He was a kid that was Blue Devil's sidekick. Briefly got called Kid Devil. Um, he got attacked by a meteor in Infinite Crisis, and then recently he got killed off in Heroes in Crisis. So that era is over with. Yeah, his name was Eddie. Yeah, they're probably never going to address that again. But yeah, there you go. There's that information. Um, being that they have yet to announce any plans for Swamp Thing in the Swamp Thing TV show, or Blue Devil, which was in the was in the um in the show. Well, um, yeah, and that's how I got involved in these books because I thought Swamp Thing was cool. It was at my local Walmart, and there you go. If it wasn't for the show, I probably wouldn't have ever picked up and enjoyed this book. It wasn't like Flash, where I've been a fan of his for quite a while now. Um, oh, and John Constantine, that story. Mom and I we we liked it, but it felt like kind of filler to just say that the Jinn are coming. It's kind of like Bendis is coming. Okay, great, something is coming, and we gotta pick up the next one that's going to be online. Um, I I didn't dislike it, but if I was judging basically based on that book, it would be a 2. It's a 5 book, but it would be a 2 if I was judging just on the Constantine. What do you think, Mom? What? What do I think of the whole Swamp Thing, the book, or just the Constantine story? Just the Constantine story. I would agree with you. It wasn't that good. Yeah, the Swamp. And it wasn't terrible. I've read worse. And they didn't do what they did on the TV show, which is he took over the whole damn show. Yeah. They didn't turn into John Constantine and still have Swamp Thing on the name. Yeah. So I do like that. It could be worse. They could be the Red Lion dude. Just varies, you know. Yeah. I like Constantine as a character. Yeah, we like Constantine as a character, but too much of a good thing is still not a good thing. Yeah, when you read the Swamp Thing, you want just Swamp Thing, not Constantine. Yeah. I still have another Flash to read before I'm completely all caught up. So that will be next video. I'm currently working on the Dresden Files, so you might get one with Mr. Aaron. That's all I'll say. And until next time, stay safe, stay solid, Bob out. Like, comment, subscribe. There, I hate it, but I just want to remind you guys that, hey, that subscribe button is there. And if you really like what I do, it would really benefit me at this stage in the game if you liked, commented, or subscribed. Yeah. How'd I do, Mom? Hi. Hope you all hope you all are having a great Mother's Day. Love your mothers. Tell them Bob appreciates what they did. Um, and, and have a happy Mother's Day. Anyway, I only have one book today. I might just glue this on the end of that 100-page giant. In fact, let's do that. This is my review of the Terrifics, which came from this stack. Yes, my comic book store finally opened for curbside. Yay! That means I have to catch up. Starting with this. Okay, first of all, I like the ending because it had one of my favorite characters, y'all know, the Blue Beetle. I absolutely loved that it had the Blue Beetle at the end. I was worried that it was going to be like Clayface or like, it was going to be evil when I was flipping through the book before we actually sat down and read it. I was like, is that going to be Clayface and not the real Blue Beetle? Because they did that in Manhunter. They they brought back Ted for a little while. It looked like they were going to bring him back, but for all you people that remember that, um, it could be just like that again. It could be Ted from a different reality, but I doubt it this time. Because, and I'll tell you why. Ted is like the third smartest guy in the DC universe. Well, if you include Ozzy fourth, but yeah, it totally makes sense for Ted to be part of a group like the Council. Not the Council of Elders, the Council. Yeah. Um, the Council is, you're not one, if you're wondering, it's the smartest people in the DC universe. And I also appreciated that Man-Bat was still on there. Despite him being evil, he still hangs out with his smart buddies from time to time. Yeah, that's, they're not prejudiced. They're smart enough not to be they're smart enough not to be prejudiced. Yeah. Um so what can be said about this book other than it was great? I mean, Stag's scared. Yeah. Sometimes just going over the story in my head, flipping through the pages help. Not reading it, that would be cheating. But at the same time, back to Stag. Stag's scared. Um, he's dying of cancer, which has affected way too many of us of late. If it's making its way into the comic books now. Anyway, um, and Mr. Terrific notices that this is like one of the things Stag would never do. But he what he does, and he like builds a train, and it it reminded me a little of Ebenezer Scrooge in that way, where he's looking at his life and he's looking at his life, and all of a sudden he sees that maybe it wasn't worth it. And so he's built this robot called Stagtron, which I thought was really cool. Maybe it got hacked by Brainiac or something like that down the road. But we'll see. I was I was right before that there was a big boom that Bizarro did end up trapped in his, but it didn't affect the story any. So far,
Thank you. Thank you.
I, we'll have to continue this downstairs, folks. All right, had to finish this down here. I don't know what order these are gonna be posted in, but I do know I want you to basically know that this was a good book. It had wonderful art. I keep flipping through it because the art's so wonderful. But in case I haven't gotten my point across, I chose this to be the first book out of the pile because it looked so amazing. Um, one of the guys in this even looked like the gentleman standing next to Blue Beetle looks like Booster Gold. So, I was totally on board with that. Mom and I were wondering, is this Booster Gold? I'll try to show it to you. Just no, you can't just believe me. Okay, you gotta find it. Is this is this I'm not sure if you can see it, but does one y'all let me know. Does one of these guys look like Booster Gold to you? Yeah. I think they slipped Booster Gold in here too. So if he's part of the council, I won't be surprised. But anyway, I guess that's all I had to say. Have a happy Mother's Day. Now I'm rhyming. Yeah.